Hey guys, I know it's been, almost a decade. Can you fucking believe it? Holy crap. Anyways, I actually had a friend stumble across some of my older vlogs and he was like, hey, you should do an update. You should, repost something. It's been forever. Just let everybody know, how you doing. And I'm like, that's not so bad of an idea, actually. And you know what? I think it's time. You know, timing's right. So yeah, it's been quite a while. I mean, I'm still kind of the brash, brazen, cocky, arrogant, smug son of a bitch you've always known and loved. But also, there's been a lot that's happened to me that has completely changed my trajectory, so to speak. So when I was doing my vlogs, I was just like this 20 something year old guy who was like on his high horse, ready to tackle the world, and I'll admit, I got knocked down several pegs. I mean, I had several toxic relationships that kind of woke me up, let's just say, and opened my eyes to a lot of stuff, and that completely changed my outlook on life. I had a couple near death experiences, which might surprise a lot of people. Since 2016, I've actually undergone not one, not two, but three different surgeries. So my health is kind of, I'm here, I'm kicking, but some days I feel more worn out and tired and depleted than others. I do have some depression issues, because of those surgeries. Lost some near and dear people to my heart as well, which will knock the sales out of you. Had a place, had to get rid of it though, because of a few things that were very sketchy in that area. Um, Family is starting to show signs of their age. Mother actually had a heart attack a couple years ago. She also punctured her lung last year and cracked ribs and has a fucked up foot. My dad is currently battling blood cancer and has been undergoing treatments since December, which has been a real eye opener in terms of life, longevity, and mortality. The job that I hated oh so much, well, I'm kind of one of the higher up managers now at a different location. So, I tried leaving, but then it's like the mafia. Eventually, they sucker you back in and have you do management and all that stuff. And, will I continue to move up the ladder? We'll see. I am kind of, I'm not, let's just say I'm kind of seeing somebody right now, and let's just say our sense of humor is very interesting. Pretty much, she can go toe to toe with me on my one liners, and well, maybe that's what I need in life. Somebody to keep me in check and give it right back to me when I give it right to them. Take that whatever way you want, by the way. But I think a lot of people are actually wondering about, how the radio industry has gone for me, and I'll be the first to say I've had a lot of twists and turns, and this is pretty much going to be the meat and potatoes of this video, so to speak. So, when we last saw one another on YouTube, I was working for let's just say, a shit stain, middle of the road, independently owned and operated AM FM radio station. The AM was more or less a talk radio channel with the worst equipment known to man. Let's just say that. I mean, when you're trying to connect phones to, to the soundboard, and then the interview pretty much goes off the rails because the phone line cuts out. got into a couple arguments on air with one of the hosts. Surprisingly, they didn't sack me. I actually left on my own accord. So more or less, they, for lack of better terms, they were cutting back on hours hardcore, and granted, I was only there maybe like 10, 15 hours a week max. I'd be, in the AM station making sure all the pre-record shit got on air. I would be editing commercials. I'd be pre-recording the weather and whatnot. And then the FM channel, I would just patch in the phone lines to do the quote-unquote live events, the remotes. And then they would have me doing like high school soundboard for like high school football and basketball. That was fine, but then all of a sudden I had to pick up another job, which is how I ended up with 2 surgeries. And they were like, okay, well, we'll keep you on Sundays. We'll keep you on for, the sports and whatnot, which was fine. And then I ended up having to pick up more hours between the other 2 jobs. So like, okay, we'll just keep you at Sundays. Well, the main reason they would have me come in on Sundays, the guy ended up croaking, and they were like, well, we're just running an automation up until 10 o'clock, so now there's no reason for you to even show up. And it's like, okay, whatever. You guys were going to sack me, and I was actually going to quit a week or 2 prior, so guess what? Hey, it's good. We'll leave on our own terms. They tried to sucker me back in 2 or 3 times since 2017, and well, I haven't budged because essentially, yeah, they would offer me a good pay, but that would be gas money to and from, and I think one day a week would pretty much be like, okay, it'd be worthless, especially in the winter. So that was until May of 2017. I ended up joining an online radio community, believe it or not. And this is going to be another huge chunk of the story too. And a lot of twists and turns, which leads into the next radio group I'm actually a part of now. But in 2019, I kept getting tagged in several Facebook posts by family members. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Why are you tagging me in this person's post? I don't know who the hell this person is. And I'm looking, I'm like, wait a minute, this is a radio site. So I'm looking, I started asking a couple questions here or there. I'm like, maybe I'll try it. Maybe I won't. Kept getting, pestered by this group, and they're like, hey, come on. Are you going to join us? Or are you not going to join us? I'm like, you know what? I'll join you. And I was like, okay, this is awesome. Part of the, Stargazer rock radio community. It was good. I mean, I had a good 5-year run on there, but I'll be real. Was it as interesting as it could have been? No. The initial buzz was great. I mean, people were like, holy crap, you got your own show? That's awesome. But how many people actually fucking tuned in? I mean, I might have had a person from Germany, maybe a couple people here and there from the UK, maybe one of the other DJs when they were bored. But the thing about Stargazer that really aggravated me to the point where I kept like taking leaves of absence and just like stepping away for a couple weeks here and there, they wouldn't promote their DJs. They had a list of DJs that were on that website that were fucking amazing. And they only focused on the 2 co-owners and this one other guy. And I'm not going to sit there and talk shit about them, but it was sad when you had a website that had like 7 or 8 DJs and you guys could only promote 3 of them and heavily promote. And then when the other DJs would pop into the chat room, you would joke around about their shows, or you would pop on there and say, hey, check out this person, and nobody would check us out. Like, that's not how an online radio station should be ran, Like, promote the fuck out of your DJs. Be like, hey, this person's coming on. Hey, this person's coming on. Generate the buzz, on social media. Stargazer never did that. Like, they were just, okay, hey, we're just going to focus on, DJ Bruce today. Or, hey, we're just going to focus on Wurzel. Or we're going to focus on Rock Doctor. And it was like, okay, so you're telling us that these are only 3 DJs anybody could care about. And you wonder why majority of your DJs were just leaving and bouncing and getting fed up because you guys weren't promoting us, you guys weren't pushing us. And like, I would leave, I would come back, first show would always be strong, and then next show it would just like go downhill and go down and go down and down some more, and then I'd be like, fuck this, walk away for a couple more weeks, come back, and this website was run from like, I want to say 2012 to about 2024. So they had 12 years and they probably burned through a shit ton of DJs, but at the same time, they were just like, okay, this is the Bruce, Wurzel, and Doc station. Everybody else can just, piss off. At least that's how I felt, and I was still there till pretty much the bitter end. I would do shows here and there. I would pop in, I think, every 2 months, but like, they would always have that up and running, and they didn't even bother telling anybody that this station was closing its doors. Literally. They didn't say a fucking thing. Like, their one main person, Rock Doctor, he was amazing. He had a good show, His computer crashed and he, posted via mobile. He's like, hey, show's pretty much done for right now until I can get my computer fixed, so there's no more Rock Doctor on Stargazer. Bruce decided to shut it down then and there. Never said a fucking word to the other DJs who might have possibly been ready for a comeback or ready to do another show or anything else. I mean, at the time, it was just me and Doc. I mean, my last show at that point was like in November or December of 2023, I want to say. But it's very funny when you go to pop on and it keeps saying disconnected and nobody knew the site was shut down until that fucking moment. It's like, hey, guess what? Fuck you. Okay? I was pissed off at that point. And then I'm like, okay, do I continue with online radio? Do I still do it? Do I not do it? Reached out to a couple other websites that were out there and never heard anything. The one that I was like, okay, they're friends of, the Stargazer group based out of the UK. They only got like 1 or 2 shows. Why not fucking pop on and be like, hey, I'll do a show for you guys. 3 emails, heard nothing either fucking time. And the auto reply I got was like, okay, that's fucking pointless. And then reached out to another one. They were called Deep Nuggets. They've been around for a few years. One of their DJs happened to be a fan of Stargazers, and he would pop into a couple of the shows here or there. And I'm like, well, hey, maybe I'll have an in, The guy that runs the website, total fucking prick, okay? Came up with as many excuses to say no to me. Oh, well, the spot that you want, we keep that for auto DJ so people can take a break from listening to, live shows, and you Stargazer was horribly ran, and well, you guys didn't really seem to have a following. Yeah, but we were up for 12 years, so that has to say something, right? But it's like, dude, if you don't want to have a fucking DJ with radio experience, fine, whatever, I'm like, okay. So then I was at my wit's end. I'm like, you know what? I'm done with this. Came across this one YouTube video, and sure enough, the content creator was promoting VibeTunes Radio. I'm like, what the fuck? What the hell is VibeTunes? I'm like, I like the website, I like the layout, I like the design. I'm looking at the DJ list. I'm like, Seems like this could be interesting. So I just gave a shout out, asked a couple questions about the website. Next thing you know, I'm getting, hey, come join us. I'm like, hey, all right, let's fucking do this. And it's weird because, yes, it's online radio. Yes, you don't get paid to do it. But the name of the game is to kick ass, take names, and have fun, right? Let me put it to you this way. Closing in on 1 year on VibeTunes compared to the 5 on and off years at Stargazer, it's like walking through the door after the tornado picks, Dorothy up and sends her to the land of Oz. Literally, it's like night and day. You walk out and it's like Technicolor, you know? Better ran website. You have a owner who fucking gives a shit about the DJs and cares to promote everybody. He promotes the bands, he promotes the DJs, plugs the fuck out of the website. Perfectly executed. That's all I gotta say about DJ Kamano. He's the man. Younger than me, he's like a little brother to me, but he's the fucking man. He knew what he wanted, he did it, he grabbed it by the balls, bam, there you go. Promotes the crap out of the website. On top of that, I've witnessed, let's just say, heights I really haven't seen before with this website. Stargazer, I'd be lucky, like I said, to get a couple of listeners here and there from like the UK or Germany. Seem to get a pretty solid following here on VibeTunes, which is good. And the best part of all is like my DJ page that I have on social media. I barely had anybody after I started back in like 2022. I started that page. Barely had anybody following. Now all of a sudden I'm closing in on 200 followers within 10 months of being on VibeTunes. To some, that might not mean anything. To some, that might mean a little. But to a guy like me, this means a lot. It means the bands pay attention. It means the bands look forward to listening to your show. They look forward to hearing their music get played. And the best thing of all is, like, I play everybody. I'll play bands from the 80s. I'll play bands from the 90s. I'll play up-and-coming artists. I'll play underground acts, And all these bands are always appreciative. And, huge props to you guys, too, because you guys make online radio what it is, and it's good to have an online radio community that actually supports the DJs and a site that supports the music as well too and plugs the fuck out of the music. I mean, on top of that, I've also witnessed a couple other things, since I've joined this website, which stand out to me as holy fuck moments. I mean, there's a band out there called Seasons of the Wolf. They've been around since 87, 88. First ever on-air interview I ever did was with Seasons of the Wolf, with their guitarist, Scully. Fucking amazing guy. I'm going to try to link this into my description, maybe link it down below, down in the comments section. Check out the interview. It was pretty fucking sweet, Got to interview him. I do have another interview hopefully coming up down the road in the next couple months. Looking forward to that. Also, since beginning of March, I've had like 5 bands reach out to me and send me demos of music. How fucking cool is that? Getting emails in your personal email account. Be like, hey, we're a band from so-and-so. Here's our latest single. Like, of course I'll fucking play you guys. Like, that's a given. That's amazing. But, again, like, I want to just end this video pretty much saying, it's weird because when I graduated from college 15 years ago, I was like, okay, the sky's the limit. I'm going to be something big. I'm going to pretty much be the next big thing. And yeah, I had my sales knocked out because at that time, little did I know, Shock Jock Radio was on its way down, and certain shock jocks have sold their soul to the devil, so to speak, and other ones are kind of in limbo because of things they do. things they say. And I was like, okay, whatever. Believe me when I say, though, guys, online radio is the way to go. Yes, you have your Spotify. Yes, you have Odyssey, iHeartRadio, you have Pandora. But that just gives you a sample of music out there, and a lot of it is commercialized too. If you can discover an underground act on Spotify, good for you. But if you can go on to like any online radio community, whether it be Deep Nuggets, whether it be Vibe Tunes, whether it be Castle Black. Sorry, I had to do that one for you, Brandon, because I know you. Yeah, we've had conversations about them before. Or Hot Headed Radio, just to name a few. If you can check out those like websites and you see the effort that the DJs put in 24/7, 365 to their shows, to the websites, and pretty much giving bands the recognition they deserve, check them out, because this is going to be a rising trend in the next couple years. You know, radio is back. Underground radio is starting to make a name. Online radio is starting to expand. And honestly, I'm glad that I'm part of this revolution. I'm glad that I've stuck it out because, I mean, yeah, I'd say I'm successful. Not in the way many people would say, but I feel like that success has given me some good rewards, and I'm actually glad and I'm blessed for it. You know, that being said, catch me on VibeTunesRadio.com. Every chance you get. I mean, usually my shows are on Tuesdays, either 11 to 2 or 12 to 3. Or if I unfortunately have to work that day, you never know. I'll pop up at random during the week. Just keep an eye out. Look on social media. Check, the DJ page. Check the Facebook page. You'll know when we show up because we'll always post it. And on that note, guys, I will catch you later. Finally, an update from yours truly. Peace.